What's up, guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the first of many videos that I am going to put out for you on the job search. Everything from how to work with recruiters, why candidate experience is so bad, LinkedIn cheats and hacks, even though I'm really not a big fan of hacks. But for any of you that don't know me, my name is Joe Laugi. I've been a recruiter for about a decade, mainly on the recruitment agency side. So I worked for a company and I own my own recruitment agency now. And essentially what I do is I help companies that are really struggling to fill their open positions. And I use tools like LinkedIn, I use AI tools like BetterLeap, and I use email sequencing and DMs to reach out to candidates that are going to be a fit for their open roles. So that's how I get paid. What I don't do as a recruiter is help individuals find jobs, although I do offer some services around one-on-one consulting to help with resumes, to give a job search strategy, and help with LinkedIn. On top of that, I've been an avid content creator over the last 5 years, and I've built a significant following on platforms like LinkedIn, TikTok, and Instagram. And I've got about 3,000 subscribers at the time of this video on YouTube, but I'm looking to give more value to this audience. So if you can subscribe to this video, it will really help. But today I wanted to talk about how to work with recruiters, and we're going to look at what are some of the fundamental differences between recruiters that are out there. So like I just mentioned, a recruiter's job, whether you're an internal recruiter or an agency recruiter, which we'll get into, but regardless of what type of recruiter you are going to have open positions that you're working on, and a recruiter is going to try and fill those open positions. Now, if they're an internal recruiter, they're going to be recruiting for company positions, so they might be an internal recruiter at Amazon, at Facebook, or Meta, or Home Depot. And so if they're an internal recruiter, they're essentially working on open roles for whatever company they represent. They have direct contact to hiring managers. They have direct contact to the company's ATS. They're in the system. So they're working for whatever company to fill open roles. Now, a lot of these internal recruiters will focus on a specific area within the business. So using Home Depot as the example, they might be recruiting for corporate positions at Home Depot. They might be recruiting for retail positions. And then if they're recruiting for retail positions, they might work within a certain geographical market. For example, another example, maybe I'm working at Amazon as a recruiter, but I'm a technical IT recruiter, so I'm only focusing on technical positions. The bigger the company, the more of a chance that the recruiter is going to specialize with either a department, a skill set, or a geography. So those are internal recruiters. What I will say about internal recruiters is they get reached out to a lot. They're also working on lots of different positions. On average, an internal recruiter is going to work on about 20 to 30 positions. So that's obviously a lot of different positions. And most internal recruiters are going to rely on people applying to the job, and they're going to post a job ad. They're going to wait for people to apply. Then they're going to use the ATS to sort through which people look like they might be the best fit for the position. And then they're going to make an objective decision based on the resume, based on any other information they've gathered in the application, to get a short list of people to call so they can screen them or have just an introductory call before they send them to the hiring manager. So that position is very reactive. They're not looking ahead. They don't know what openings are going to be in the future. They're just focusing on those 10 to 30 open positions that they're given. And a lot of times those positions are called requisitions. What I'd also say about internal recruiters is they're very hard to reach out to on platforms like LinkedIn or through email. And this isn't because they're mean or they're not nice. It's because they're very focused on who is actually applying to the jobs. So a lot of times people are asking me, how do I reach out to recruiters that have these jobs posted? And I say, well, the easiest way to reach out to a recruiter is to actually apply to a job that they're working on. And as long as you're qualified, as long as you have the experience, as long as you have the skill set and the accomplishments listed on your resume, and your resume really speaks to the fact that you are qualified for the position, you're going to increase your chances of getting a call back. Now, if you're looking to pivot, if you're looking to change industries, if you're looking at jobs where you just don't have enough of the experience. So for example, if you have 2 years experience and they're looking for 10 years experience, the less qualifications you meet on the job description, the more of an unlikelihood it is that their recruiter is going to reach back out to you. And their job is to fill positions, but it's also to act as a liaison to the hiring manager. And it's really the hiring manager's job to fill the positions on their team. Hence, we call them hiring managers. And the recruiters, the internal recruiters, are just there to support hiring managers, manage the process end to end. So you'll typically find recruiters will do the screening call. They'll do a lot of the scheduling within the process. And depending on the company, they might even do things like writing out offers and even onboarding at times. Again, depends on what the company's process is. So internal recruiters, remember, they represent one company. They may represent a different skill set within a company or a geography, and they are very hard to reach out to. So you have internal recruiters, great people, love them. Now, we have another type of recruiter, which is the type of recruiter I am, and we are called agency recruiters. So as an agency recruiter, my company or the company I work for, they are hired by a company that maybe is having maybe has a job opening that the internal recruiter is struggling to fill, or maybe they are struggling to put enough time into and focus onto the position because they're managing 20 to 30 positions. So sometimes if companies are in a position where they're just not getting the results with the internal team, or their internal team is feeling very stretched, they might reach out to a specialist that only focuses on reaching out to candidates, and those are agency recruiters. Now, what I'll tell you about agency recruiters is they are a lot of times very sales focused, and although there are different type of business models with agency recruiting, they do not directly work for the company. So they might not have contact to the hiring manager, although hopefully most agency recruiters would, because it will increase their chances of placing the position and understanding what the actual need is. But they may not have contact with the hiring manager. They might not be that involved in the process. And so some agency recruiters will literally search LinkedIn or search a database to find candidates. And then maybe they do the screening call to assess whether or not they're within a salary range, whether or not they're qualified for the position, and whether or not they're interested. But they're really managing that top of funnel activity rather than being like the internal recruiter that's handling the end-to-end process. A lot of agency recruiters are also paid based on their results versus their activity. What I mean by this is there's still a decent amount of agency recruiters that are paid on commission. So they're only paid when they place a candidate in a position. Now, it's not true across the board, and this is starting to shift within that agency recruitment world. There are other types of agency recruiters that work more like an internal recruiter, but they're just an outsourced version, and those are called RPOs. But there's still a lot of recruiters that work on a contingency basis, meaning they only get paid when they fill a position, and a retained basis, meaning they're getting a little bit of money up front so they can dedicate time on that open role. And then on the back end, once they place a position, they are getting more commission. But both of those types of recruiters, so contingency and retained recruiters, they are going to be extremely mindful of where they're spending time. Now, what they're going to do is they're going to have, maybe 5, 10, 15 open positions that they know if they can find a candidate for, and they can send over a candidate with a resume, maybe some screening call notes, whatever process they have set up, they know that they're going to get a big payday. But they also know that they have limited time. So again, these recruiters, if they're reaching out to you, it's more than likely that they have an open position in the moment that you're a fit for, or they know that they're going to have a position coming up. What I will say about agency recruiters is they are the most likely to cut off a conversation if they don't think you're going to be a fit at any time for any of their positions, because they know they're not going to make any money from you. And they're also the most likely to ghost after an interaction, because again, if they know that they're not going to make money from you or they're not going to be compensated, they don't have much incentive to continue the conversation. With that being said, there are some agency recruiters that will meet with people to find out what are they looking for, what are they open for. And there is a practice within contingency recruiting or agency contingency recruiting where they might have a conversation with you, figure out that you are a great candidate, that you could be exactly what some of their prospects or people they're looking to work with are looking for. And what they might actually do is take your resume and they're going to block out your contact information and maybe some of the companies you worked for and your name. So their prospects, people they want to work with, don't know who they are and won't reach out to themselves. But they might kind of shop your information around to see if any of these prospects out there are looking for somebody like you. And then if they get a response, they might reach back out to you and say, hey, I've actually got an opportunity with XYZ company or a client of mine. Maybe they're vague with who it is so you don't go and apply directly, but they'll reach out to you and say, hey, I've got an opening. And so there are some recruiters that will meet with you. But what I found in my experience is recruiters are not going to spend that much time with people unless they have an open position or they know there's going to be an open position for your skill set. So I think what a lot of people out there actually think recruiters do is meet with people and try and understand what they're looking for and then help them find jobs. There is a third category of recruiter that has emerged over the last couple of years that actually does this, and these people are called reverse recruiters. They will help you with your resume. They'll help you with a job search strategy. Sometimes they'll even apply to jobs for you, and then they'll walk you through like interview prep. Now, to work with someone like that, they actually charge a fee. Sometimes that can be in the thousands of dollars. But I do not know many recruiters that on a daily basis are just meeting with people and helping them without getting paid in some way or relating to the positions that they're open for. So it kind of brings me to the last point in this video, which is, how do you actually work with recruiters? How do you get a hold of them? How do you get in their funnel so they know that they can send you to their clients or their company? And it kind of goes back to a point that I made earlier. The easiest way to find a recruiter is to apply to jobs that look like a fit. And wow, I know you're like, oh my God, that is super simple, but it's the truth. If you want to find a recruiter, then look for the open jobs that are posted. Now, I'm not saying this is easy and I'm not saying it's not competitive, because right now in 2024, and it's been like this for the past 2 years, it is very competitive. But that is your number one way to get connected with a recruiter. Now, you can try the things like connecting with recruiters online. You can engage with their content. You can develop relationships with them. You can reach out to past recruiters that have reached out to you on LinkedIn. But at the end of the day, if they're working an open job, they're going to have a sense of urgency. So when you reach out to a recruiter about one of these open jobs, the best advice I can give you is you need to be specific with the DMs that you're sending. You don't want to send through a 3-paragraph story of why you're looking and your whole career journey. You just want to say, hi, whatever the recruiter, hi Joel, I applied to this account executive position. If you can link the position, great, because you're being specific. Is this role still active and open? Right, that's all you need to say. Be specific and short with it. If you send a longer message like that, there's a good chance recruiters just aren't going to have the time to really read through and spend the time on it. So when you're DMing people in general, when you're emailing people, short and sweet. Now, you're not going to hear back from them for the first time. Most of the time, maybe you will. But if you don't hear back from them, then you need to follow up even up to 3 times. And again, every single time, short messages. I like to put in like clauses to get them out of responding. So saying something like, hey, I don't expect a response. I know you're super busy, and it kind of gives them an out. A lot of times that can elicit a response from them. So that is one way that you can work with recruiters. You can also reach out to agencies, and some agencies, not all, but some recruitment agencies, if they're recruiting for technical positions, for example, and you have a strong technical background, they'll more than likely have the conversation with you to see if there's any fit with any of their open roles. And then there may be a chance where if an open role comes up and you seem like the best candidate, they'll reach out to you in the future. Now, a lot of this is to do with timing. So sometimes you'll have that conversation when you're looking for a job, and then 6 months later, well, when you have a job again, the recruiter will reach out and say, hey, I thought you'd be a great fit for this. And then it's just not timing. So timing plays a crucial role in this. So that is how you want to work with recruiters. So in this video, we covered the differences between the types of recruiters, and we covered how you can actually work with recruiters. So I'm going to be coming out with lots more videos in this series. So if you have questions on any of the topic that was covered today, feel free to reach out to me on this YouTube channel. You can comment with questions that will give me ideas for future videos. You can also find me on platforms like LinkedIn, Instagram and TikTok, although I only respond to DMs on LinkedIn. And if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, you send me a connection request. There's a limit of 30,000 connections, which I've hit. But if you send me that connection request, I will send you a DM and you can ask any questions. And then I'm always engaging with my audience across platforms. So if you leave a comment and I can answer it, I will answer it. On Instagram and TikTok, I like to do video replies. So if you leave a comment, there's a good chance I will get back via video. And then remember to subscribe for future videos. And if this video was helpful, if you like the video, that is really helpful. And of course, if it was helpful and you think it would be valuable for other people, please share this video with someone on the job search. So until next time, great to have you here with me. Hopefully this video was valuable, and this is the first of many more of these videos to come over the next year.